your boy Kevin Gates, right? So this trans person came out on a podcast and was like they was hanging out with Kevin Gates.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna let them tell the story of what happened.
Oh, he's all about like energy, like ashwagandha, like the whole.
Hold on.
He was playing me his new album. He was on Instagram Live, and in my brain, I'm like, dude, he shows me on live, and I'm like, ugh, I just know one of like the fans from Iowa, like where I'm from.
That
like,
is a dude.
yeah, like that's a fucking male. And it was just one of those situations where I almost felt like I was like at like lunch with or like in trouble with my principal. Oh, he's all about like energy, like ashwagandha, like the whole nine. Honestly, we fucked. And I told him I was trans, like mid, like spread eagle, like pussy flap scars and all. Like I,
Oh my
How did you
God.
like? How did you bring that up?
Honestly,
Like,
I was just like-
mid-sex. What?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm squirting. He's like, no, you're not.
What? The
Yeah, so Kevin Gates, you know what I'm saying, well-known rapper, hanging out with a woman, you know what I'm saying, that I don't know her Instagram and shit, but you know, some of these trans women, they kind of look a lot like women, you know?
They do, but like, have you ever been around one where you were like, I did not know that you were a man. Or
Not
transgender,
like,
or
not like in person, but I've seen a few online that fooled me at first. You know what I'm saying? I hate to admit, because some of them, they got good surgeons
Yeah.
and they been taking estrogen and shit, and it's done softened them up, and they done got all kind of good surgeries and shit, and they really look like women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I guess this is one of them. And you know, Kevin, she said she was hanging out, or they said they was hanging out with Kevin Gates, and they was in the act of having sex. Kevin Gates eating the coochie, eating the wound, and he look up and ask this person like, "Yo, are you trans?" Like as he eating the coochie, and they was like, "Yeah, I'm trans," and he tell her like, according to the person, he was like, "Oh, that's okay. We all human beings and stuff," and proceeded to keep doing it, and they proceeded to keep, you know what I'm saying, smashing, you know.
Did they end up smashing?
I mean, they was already in the act, so he just kept on going and stuff, because he was like, you know, a trans woman is a woman too. What would you do? What would you do in that situation?
Number one, I would definitely. It's kind of weird for me to like. I've never thought about that. I've never been in a situation where I would like, even like just being around somebody where I was like, I did not know you transgender.
Right.
There's always some type of feature where I've seen it when somebody was around, like in, you know, I mean, in a club. I've never been outside a club where I've really seen one.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a story that I'm about to tell you.
Go ahead.
But like, I would not proceed, and I would not continue. I can tell you that. The thing is this though, like, it's more like, do you think it will be the right thing to do to tell the other person beforehand?
Of course.
That's exactly and that's like.
I feel like that's low key rape.
Yes, I agree. So the story I was going to tell you. So I think it was 2014. I was in Cali. I was in Sacramento to visit my homeboy Cass, who I grew up with over here, but he moved to Cali. And one of his homeboys, I forgot his name, but we went out to a club in Cali downtown, and I was driving, and they were drinking, and his homeboy was drunk, like fucked up.
Yeah.
And we in a club, and I don't remember, but it was like downtown. It was a pretty well-known club in Sacramento, and it had 2 floors, and we walk around, and oh boy, drunk as hell. Next thing I know, I turn around from the bar, and he dancing on, which he thought was a woman.
Right.
But I mean, it was a man. I mean, I even
You
see
knew
from far away.
Oh, okay, you can see from far. Okay.
I could tell. Like, it was not that it was like bad, like obvious. Like, it wasn't like some dude that just put on like a a freaking what you call it, like a dress, and you know, she got some work done,
Right.
but you could still see. But he was drunk, and nobody like she didn't tell him.
Mm-hmm.
So he was all up. He was trying to kiss her and stuff. And me and Kaz, we were like, "Hey, bro, come here." And we pulled him away from it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And it was funny that moment. We're like, bro, you know what you was just doing?
Yeah.
He was just drunk. We told him the next day, and he's like, "Oh man, blah blah blah." But like, she had no intentions telling him. So she was just going with the flow, and just like, you know, if we wouldn't have stopped him, who knew what he would have done? Like,
Yeah,
you know
he would have ended up in that back door probably, not been
just like Kevin Gates, man. Like, you know what I mean? So,
But that's like the thing about it, like on their behalf, right?
mm-hmm.
You know, everybody looking for love in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if they just go around like telling everybody like that's interested or could be interested in them, like, oh, I'm trans, before you flirt with me, you gotta know I got a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you really expect them to, like, at what point are they supposed to tell a person? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's a position that they don't put themselves in.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not the other person's fault that you have this obligation to disclose, like, your situation.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whether it's uncomfortable for you, you should get that out the way, because most people ain't gonna be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? It might be transphobic to not want to sleep with a trans person or whatever, but most people.
If that's transphobic, then I'm transphobic.
Right.
I guess.
Right. I guess I am too.
There's a story where
I think you can hit your mic again. I think you hit the.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's
my
good.
bad. There was.
Can you move it a little bit closer to your face too?
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
So there was a story a while ago where I think the dude killed that
Killed the trans person.
The trans person because he found out and she didn't tell him.
Right. That's the other thing. Like, they say like trans people are kind of murdered sometimes, or it's like, you know, they call it like trans genocide or whatever. But I feel like it's not as much of a epidemic as they say it is, and maybe I feel like if a trans person gets killed, they automatically say that they got killed because they were trans when it could have been other circumstances or whatever. But statistically, they put it in like, oh, a trans person got killed, so it must have been because they were trans. And it's not that many per year, but a life loss is a life loss or whatever.
Absolutely.
But I feel like if somebody trans gets murdered, it's probably because of a situation like we was just talking about. Because you know what I'm saying, a straight man does not want to sleep with another man. Not a straight man don't want to be touched like that by another man. And 100%. If you get tricked into it, and told about it mid-act, can you really blame? I mean, of course you shouldn't murder nobody, but can you really blame somebody for being really upset about that shit?
Absolutely not.
Or at the very least, whooping your ass because you just fucking did the unthinkable to him.
Yep.
And what a lot of men would consider like taking his manhood away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who's to blame in that situation? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Everybody ain't gonna be like Kevin Gates and be like, oh,
that boy is he still married?
Nah, I think him and that Drika chick broke up or whatever because she cheated on him or something.
Oh, she cheated on him?
Something like that. I don't know. He get into a lot of wild shit.
You know, I did a show with him. Right after that, I brought him. I think it was his first show in Germany ever.
Really?
Right after he kicked that girl in the face. You remember that story?
Yeah,
And
he
it
went
was-
to jail for that, didn't he?
So I don't know if he went to jail for that, but like, so we booked him. Then that situation happened, and we were worried about if he was even able to come over here, but he was. But the booking agency,
He kicked the fuck out that
oh yeah,
girl.
oh yeah.
Okay, but keep
But yeah,
telling
so
your
the
story,
booking
though.
agency was they were really worried because that just happened. It was all over the news, all over social media, and they made us get like extra barriers in the club in front of the stage. So the stage already was higher and had like the had some like kind of like barriers up
That
there,
railing
like
shit.
a railing kind of thing. Yeah, but they made us get additional barriers in the front, and there was to this day I think it was one of the top 3 best shows I've ever of artists that I either DJ for or kind of was involved with bringing them out here.
Yeah.
To this day, it was wall to wall packed. It was a cold January night. It was black ice. I seen people busting their ass outside the club, like left and right. Like it was ridiculous, and it was still wall to wall packed. He came. We were worried. Put on a good show. He climbed over the thing into the crowd, hugging people.
Oh. He
Like,
seems
it
like
was-
a really empathetic dude,
yeah,
though. Like,
but he's like, yeah,
not
so-
a bad guy.
No, I mean, he's saying a lot of wild shit.
Yeah, he's saying a lot
sometimes,
of wild
you
shit.
know, and obviously he's doing some wild shit too.
Yeah.
But I mean, all I can say is from like what I seen that night. I mean, he put on a great show. He went out there. He was like literally in the crowd with the people, hugging people, and like nothing negative. So,
Nothing crazy happened that night or nothing like that.
no, the craziest is like people busting their ass because it was like
Black ice
black
and all
ice
that
outside.
shit.
Like, yeah, but other than that, nothing crazy happened with him. He had to leave because the weather was so bad, and he had another show the next day somewhere in Europe, but he had to fly. He couldn't stay, so they did the show, and like right after the show, he had to leave
He
to get to the
dipped out.
airport. Yeah, that was the only thing. But other than that, it was a good show. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
crazy. Yeah, man.
Where was that?
20.
I mean, where? Like, what-
Where? Euro Palace.
Euro Palace.
Euro
Okay,
Palace.
okay.
Yeah, that was that and Jacquees were the 2 best shows that I was involved in at that club. You know, that was my resident spot for a couple of years. So
Yeah.
I played there for some time, almost every Friday, and we brought a lot of artists out there.
I did a show or 2 there too. When they used to have I think they had Red Madness there at one time.
Yeah, I was probably DJing that night because
Probably.
I DJed all the Red Madness out there. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the nights we had the show together.
With Dutch and all them.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
there was good times out there. Had some good nights in that club, but yeah.
Mhm.
That was one of the wild stories with when it comes to artists. Definitely,
Goddamn Kevin Gates.
yeah.
Thanks for watching this clip of the Quote Goats podcast. I truly hope you enjoyed yourself and maybe even learned something new. If you haven't already, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a clip, short, or full episode of the show. See you guys next time. Peace.